Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den After Hours. My name is Nick.
And I am not Julio Iglesias.
You are not. Why are you not Julio Iglesias?
Because I'm not. Julio Iglesias is Julio Iglesias.
Ian, what's going on, man? Oh, I should say real quick before we get into the episode, what we got going on today? We're gonna play the Back in Time Billboard 200 game.
Yeah.
We got another one of those Family Feud games we're gonna play. If you didn't catch last week's episode. And then what's our topic for today, Ian?
It's a very, very tame and totally won't cause any problems with anybody. It is politics and music and whether or not they influence each other.
Yeah, so I mean, we try not to be too political on the show, but
we're going to throw that all out the window today.
Well, we're not going to be political, but we'll talk about how they kind of influence each other. There's a bunch of links down below. You got links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlist that I put together every week, and the Patreon page. So make sure you check all that out. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. But before we get into all that, Ian, what's been going on, man?
Let's see. Fuck all.
Nothing. Nothing has been going on, right?
Nothing.
I will say that I don't know if you saw, but not, and you probably don't even really care. But Katy Perry is going to be getting the Video Vanguard Award at the VMAs this year. So that was
I like her
cool.
boobies.
I think. I think she's had some really good albums. I haven't been a fan really of her last couple ones. I know she's got a new album coming out this year.
I've only ever heard like the hits or whatever, and I'm not terribly impressed. But
I think Teenage Dream is probably one of the best pop albums of the 2010s, or I think it's 2010s when they came out. I think it's one of the best pop albums of the 2000s. So
I'm indifferent.
Whatever. I know you're not a pop music fan, but
not modern pop. I like 80s pop, and even some 90s pop. But for the most part, I think I don't know. It just doesn't have like. And I've said it a million times. I'm a sucker for a good hook. 80s pop had the best hooks ever. Maybe you could even say like some of the 60s pop had some really good hooks too. But 80s had the best hooks. And I'm just a sucker for that, you know?
I don't know. I think the pop music
some
really
of the
changed.
90s too.
Yeah, pop music really changed in the 90s.
Yeah.
And really kind of branched out and diversified. Because pop in the 80s was like Madonna and stuff like that. And I feel like pop music incorporated, typical pop music, but also incorporated, at least in the 90s, some rock and, country. Kind of, it really kind of broadened itself.
Well, it kind of did in the 80s too. I mean, there were a lot of pop bands that were pop, that were popular.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take some of those pop bands and put them into other categories like new wave and all that, but at their core, they were still essentially pop bands.
Yeah.
Madonna's music isn't really like not rock. It's rock-ish. So,
is it? I don't think it really incorporates any kind of rock elements to it, but
no. I feel like you could argue that neither does Thriller, but I think it does, and it was one of the biggest selling pop albums of all time.
Yeah. So. I just think, like I said, I think it just kind of diversified in the 90s. And then, like, in the early part of the 2000s, it kind of went off in a bunch of different directions. And, I don't know. I think there is some really good 2000s pop music, though. I think 80s and 90s are better, but, I'm sure there's probably kids younger than us that probably don't feel that same way.
No, but I mean, I could argue that's like there was some of the pop even in the 50s was by my standard, because I like those hooks, was really good, but 60s for sure.
I mean, early Beatles was pop.
Very bubblegum pop, yeah. So, I guess
they were really catchy.
Yeah. I guess ultimately that's what it really boils down to. If it's not music that I'm listening to for, on a deeper level, as long as it's catchy, it's got a good tune, and maybe the fact that it's not written by 55 people, I'm okay.
I don't know.
A 3-minute song written by 5 people just doesn't make sense to me, unless it's the band playing the music and they came together and collaborated that way. But when it's just like, writer for hire kind of stuff, pop music is already a bit vapid as it is. So if you add that element to it, it just makes it completely just useless.
I think the whole writers, I think that kind of, I think a lot of that gets kind of blown out of proportion.
It does, but
just because there's a lot of musicians that if you're in the room, and you've got, it's almost easier to give somebody co-writing credits if they were there and had any kind of influence on the song,
right?
Rather than have that potential legal battle later on down the line. Because how many times growing up did we hear about lawsuits, 15, 20 years after an album was released about writing credits?
Well, I mean, you're not wrong there, but that's not exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about is when that's the case, when they're in the room, they're collaborating, that's okay. But it's it's 5 people that this artist has never even talked to, that writes the song, and then someone else and their manager or their producer brings it and says, "Here you go, this is a song we're doing."
Well, there's a lot of music like that. I mean, there's a lot of pop music that's like that also. I mean, there's a lot of artists out there also. This is something that doesn't get talked about a lot, but if you, Ian, write a song, someone else can buy that song from you and take ownership of the writing credits themselves because they bought it from you. Right. That's something that I think is really kind of dirty.
It is kind of dirty, yeah.
And there's people out there that claim writing credits for songs that they didn't write. So, I mean, you got that stuff going on. I don't know. There's the whole underbelly to the music industry that a lot of people really don't know about or really understand. But that's not what we came here to talk about today, though.
It's not?
No. Let's go back in time, Ian. Let's start out with the Billboard 200 game.
Okay.
Ready for this?
I'm in my time machine. Let's go.
Yeah, you go.
88 miles per hour.
What was that? That was from Wayne's World. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I'm in my DeLorean, 88 miles per hour. Let's go. What year am I going to?
So this episode will come out on August 28th, right? Yeah.
Sure.
So let's go back in time to the week of that August 28th was part of. So it's the week ending with August 31st, 1996. So shortly after you graduated high school. This might be kind of a hard one for you, Ian.
It's going to be a hard one for me because I had no idea what was going on in the world right then. I was just working. And,
so let's go back in time to 1996. What was the number one album? Do you want a hint? I'll give you a hint.
I want to say it's the shirt I'm wearing, but I don't think so.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little bit of a hint. I will say that this album had been out for a while. It took a long time for this album to hit number one. It was number one and had been on the charts for a whopping 62 weeks at this point. So that's a slow burner right there.
So it would have come out in 95.
Mm-hmm.
I need another hint.
I'm trying to think what other hints can I give you? Man, there's one hint I really want to give you, but it really fucking tip you off. You'll know exactly.
Is it rock?
Yes.
Is it a band we talk about a lot, like a band I like?
It's not a band. It's a person.
Oh. And it's rock.
Yes.
A solo artist that's rock.
Mm-hmm.
1995.
You ready for another hint?
Sure.
Full House.
John Stamos?
No.
Dave Coulier? Bob Saget?
It might have something to do with Dave Coulier.
Oh.
that was one I was going to give.
Yeah.
So what is it, Ian?
It is Alanis Morissette. Jagged Little Pill. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't know, the song you ought to know is about Dave Coulier. So
and you ought to know.
I knew if I gave you that hint, you were going to get it.
Yeah.
Right away.
You could have gone other directions, but I don't think it would have been any less obvious.
So I'll give you a crisp $100 bill if you can name albums that were either 2, 3, or 4 that week.
Well, the fact that you're offering money for the answer means that I'm not going to get them. Because you wouldn't offer it. You wouldn't offer it if you suspected I could get it. Let's see. So we're talking 96.
Yeah.
Can you give me at least a hint, the genre there?
If there's money involved, I'm not giving you any kind of hint.
All right. Let's see. 96. NSYNC wouldn't have been on the list yet, would
Nope.
they? Because they were a little later. Same with Britney. Christ. Was Snoop Dogg?
It's not Christ.
I know. Was Snoop Dogg on the list?
Nope. I'll give you one more guess, and I'll give you a hint.
96.
Ready for a hint?
I was gonna say Cypress Hill, but that was before that.
All right, so no money. You miss out on the $100 bill, but
it doesn't go down to $50.
No, because I'm gonna give you a hint, and you should probably know who it is. At number 2, she's Canadian.
Shania Twain.
Nope. She had a long Vegas residency.
Oh, Celine Dion.
Yeah. Falling Into You was number 2 that week.
Yeah, Canadian doesn't. She's French Canadian. There's a difference.
She's still fucking Canadian.
French. Say that to a French Canadian and see what they say.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna mouth off. I'm gonna punch them in the fucking mouth. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah. Start a war with the French Canadians.
Yeah. What are they? Oh, I'm so afraid of the French Canadians. Yeah. So Falling Into You was number 2. Number 3 that week was It Was Written by Nas, which is a really good fucking album. Blue by Leanne Rimes was number 4. I knew you were never going to get either of those 3.
No.
Tragic Kingdom by No Doubt was number 5. The Score by Fugees was number 6. Secrets by Toni Braxton was 7. The Crow City of Angels soundtrack, which I don't know if I've ever actually listened to the soundtrack for that movie. I mean, I've seen the movie. I didn't think it was all that good.
I've never seen the movie.
The album that ended Metallica's career is at number 9. Do you know what that is?
Load.
Yeah. They cut all their magical hair off, Ian.
I know.
And then E1999, Eternal by Bone Thugs and Harmony is number 10. Alice in Chains Unplugged was at number 11. It wasn't a really good week for music. Crash by Dave Matthews Band, which was number 16, which I think is Dave Matthews Band. Are you a fan of their music at all? I think they're one of the most overrated bands.
Yeah, they got some alright music.
Of the last
I will
40
say this.
years.
I don't remember the other guitarist, but there's and I couldn't even tell you how to find it on YouTube, but it is on YouTube. There's a live performance where Dave Matthews and this other guitarist are doing like this acoustic guitar dual thing, and it is phenomenal. It is awesome to watch. But beyond
the music
that,
is just not good though.
It's just it's frat rock. You know, it's written. It's for frat boys. It's not.
What's the Story? Morning Glory was at number 20, which is a great album.
Mm-hmm.
The one you picked, Shania Twain, The Woman in Me, it was at number 22 that week.
Mm.
Self-titled album by Garbage was at 23. Down on the Upside by Soundgarden was 28. That's a great album. Down on the Upside was the first album I ever bought on CD. That and Harvest by Neil Young, the first CDs I ever bought. But you have to remember, like, I didn't buy a CD till I think it was my senior year in high school. It was 97 or 98 was the first CD I bought. So I was still primarily listening to cassettes and records. You remember that little record player I still had?
Oh yeah, I remember. I just remember I had to buy you a Kerplunk on CD because I ruined your
CD.
tape.
What?
I bought it. I bought it for you on CD because it just made more sense.
That's right. Because I had a Thunderbird that had I had a cassette player in it when I first got the car, and then it was like you left the cassette up on the dashboard of my car, and it like fucking melted.
It melted it, yeah.
Then I had gotten a CD player. I don't know if I'd had my CD player in my car yet or not, but I finally had one in my my Sony PlayStation I used as a CD player.
Right.
So he bought it on CD for me. So yeah, it was I guess it was an upgrade musically, but moved from cassette to CD.
It just wouldn't have made sense for me to replace the cassette.
No. I should have cut the damn melted one though.
I know. You wouldn't still have it now. That was 25 years ago.
Yeah. Pieces of You by Jewel was at 29, which is a really good album. I've never been a big Jewel fan.
It's her only good album, honestly.
Her second album was really good too. Well, I don't know.
I never liked it.
It was one that came out after that one.
We used to listen to it at work.
It wasn't as good as Pieces of You, but it did have some good tracks on it. Evil Empire by Rage Against the Machine is 31, which I just listened to that a couple days ago on vinyl. And then a bunch of stuff that is not all that great. Melancholy is at 40.
Recovering the Satellites came out, I think, in July or August of '96.
Was it?
Yeah, because I was out of school when it came out, but it was like summertime still, I think.
I thought it was after that. Hold on, let me look at the old Wikipedia here. Recovering the Satellites came out October 15th, the end, so you were not even fucking close.
Yeah. It was 28 years ago, Nick.
I know.
Bad Hair Day. I bought it the day it came out, I should point out.
I think I did also. I'm pretty sure I did. Bad Hair Day by Weird Al was 48. 16 Stone by Bush was 49. So there's a couple of good albums in there.
And some of those albums have been sitting on that list for a long time because some of those were like 94.
Yeah, 16 Stone came out. Had been on the chart for 84 weeks at that point.
Yeah.
Tiger Lily by Natalie Merchant was at 58.
That's just an alright album.
Yeah, it's the only album of her. I mean, that is her only solo album, isn't it?
No, I think she did one or two more after
That's
that.
the only one of hers I remember listening to.
But obviously, you probably more familiar with 10,000 Maniacs.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Tiny Music by Stone Temple Pilots was at 67. Cracked Rear View by Hootie and the Blowfish was 68.
See, Hootie and the Blowfish is one I never could get into.
I just listened. So it'd been a long time since I'd listened to an album. And then I listened to it within the last month or two. And it's got some really good tracks on there.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, they were known for like, I Want to Hold Your Hand and shit like that. But there are better tracks, I think, on that album.
Right. There usually are. Maybe I just never gave it a good enough chance, but I just never much cared for it. I think I had it. I think I bought it when it came out.
Yeah.
Around that time. But
it was one of those CDs that I got from Columbia House or BMG when you get like 10 for a penny or whatever it was. Right. That's when I got Cracked Review, but I've got it on vinyl now. So, it's a good album. It's definitely like poppier.
Right.
It's poppy. It's even poppier than I remember it being.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought there were some really good tracks on there. The self-titled album from Sublime was at 71, which had just come out a couple of weeks before that.
How do you feel about them reforming with a new singer now?
So they've been playing with singers for several years.
Have they? I didn't know that. I just assumed that this was a new thing.
Yeah, no.
Because they have, whoever it is, it's a permanent singer now. They have an official singer.
Okay.
They're making a new album.
I don't really care. I mean, I'll listen to it.
Yeah. I mean, I love old Alice in Chains, but I can tell you, I don't love the new stuff, but it's decent with the new singer.
Yeah.
So
Black Gives Way to Blue.
Yeah. They've done a couple albums since then.
Yeah, I was just say that actually just got reissued.
Oh,
that's why it popped into my head.
Yeah, that's at least that one for sure is a decent album.
Yeah.
Given the fact that it's, a brand new singer and
yeah. Which, like I said, I don't care. I'll still listen to it. I'm not that. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't really get picky when it comes.
I don't know if I would feel the same way about that's really what it boils down to. But I don't know if I'd feel as open to it if it was like Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because Chris Cornell was. I don't know. To be honest, I'd listen to Soundgarden with a new singer.
I'd give it a shot for sure.
Yeah, I'd listen to it.
And that's how I listened to Alice in Chains. It's like, well, let's see how it sounds. Yeah. You never know.
High Low by Not a Surfer was at 73, which that's another one of those albums that is known for a song, but has some other really good stuff on there. Bringing Down the Horse by the Wallflowers, of course, fronted by Jacob Dylan, was at 78. So like I said, there's some good stuff. What the Hell Happened to Me by Adam Sandler, that's a really good. Not as good as his the album that came out before that though.
Is that the first? Yeah, that's first one I think is what I'm familiar with, and that was funny as shit.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's the one that's got At a Medium Pace. If you're watching this and you've never heard the song At a Medium Pace by Adam Sandler, listen to it. It's not family friendly.
I have not listened to that in ages.
Yeah, it's not family friendly, so make sure you don't have your kids around.
Or, if you have your kids around, just realize that they're going to hear it. So
yeah, and it's not family friendly in any stretch of the imagination. But anyway, like I said, Billboard Top 200, that was for the week of August 31st, 1996. That was the year you graduated from high school, Ian. I thought you'd. No,
I was.
You didn't do too bad with it.
No, but at that point, I was just kind of floating around working and trying to figure shit out. Still trying to figure shit out.
That's gonna be a really interesting game to play with my wife. My wife knows a lot of music, but she doesn't know like what year albums came out.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to give her
a lot of clues.
I'll give her a lot of hints. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna do like 1966 or something like that. She'd never get anything.
Right. No.
I mean, I'll give her something that she can at least kind of figure out. But
stuff from years that she was around, obviously.
Yeah. So Mandy will be on the show next week, and we will play the Back in Time Billboard 200 game. So let's do the other game we were gonna play is we started it last week. We'll play it again this week. This is the Family Feud game. Is that kind of the best way to kind of put it?
Sure.
So I'm gonna give Ian the opportunity to name as many of the top 10 most popular tracks according to Spotify. From another one, last week we did Jethro Tull and Green Day. You did pretty good with the Green Day one. I think after you kind of got the rhythm of it, how it's going to play out. So this week we'll go with another one of your favorite bands. We'll go with Counting Crows. Okay. Let's see if you could pick. So this is the top 10 most popular songs according to Spotify. All
right. Well, let's get the big ones out of the way. Mr. Jones,
Mr. Jones is number one at almost 780 million streams.
Okay. Round
Here is number 4 at 85 million streams, which I figured that would have more streams than that. But great fucking song, though. Great lead off to it.
Big Yellow Taxi.
Big Yellow Taxi is number 3 at almost 200 million streams. So now you have to get some thought into these.
Colorblind
is number 7 at a little over 74 million streams.
Long December
is number 5 at almost 79 million streams.
How many more do I have?
You got 1, 2, 3. You got 5 so far.
Oh, okay.
You got 4 of the top 5.
Accidentally in Love
is number 2 at 404 million streams. You're doing pretty good with this one.
I am. But I think I'm going to fall off at this point.
A couple of big ones. Definitely a couple you should know.
They're all big ones to me. That's the problem.
So you're missing 3, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So you're missing the 6, 8, 9, 10.
Angels in the Silence.
That is your first X.
Perfect Blue Buildings.
Perfect Blue Buildings is not on there. You got one more X, Ian. Pretty good, though. You got 7 out of 10 so far. If you get this next one wrong, I'll give you some hints.
Well, just give me a hint, because if I get it wrong, I'll have
no, because
you're gonna give me
I'll help you
do-over.
out. Once you lose, I'll help you out.
All right. American Girls.
That's your third X.
All
right. So number 6, very, very popular song off of This Desert Life. I think was it the first song on the album?
Hanging Around. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was number 6.
Is Mrs. Potter's Lullaby on there?
No.
Okay.
I will say tracks 8, 9, and 10 are all off of August and Everything After.
And I already named several off that album.
Yes. You named 2 off of that album.
No, I named 3 because I said Perfect Blue Buildings as well.
Well, yeah, but that's not on there.
Okay. So what's left? Omaha?
Yep. Omaha was number 8 at 30 million streams.
Murder 1?
Nope.
Time and Time Again?
Nope.
Raining in Baltimore?
Nope. Great fucking track, though.
That's one of my favorites on that album. What else? What else is left? I mean, you got
Rain King.
Oh, yeah.
It was number 9.
Anna Begins.
Anna Begins is number 10.
Okay.
So that's pretty fun. You got 7 out of 10. I'd say that's not bad. And you got those 7, I think, before you got any strikes too. So
yeah, right.
You burned through the really.
It's a little easier because they have a much smaller catalog than some of those other bands, like the other 2 bands that we've dealt with. Yeah. So it's easier to kind of pick the ones that I know were popular songs.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'm gonna pick another one. This next one might be kind of hard. Are you okay playing? You okay playing a second round?
Sure.
These are kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any any meetings with my publicist anytime soon, so I think I'm good.
What the fuck is that?
just yeah, I don't know, whatever.
All right, so this next one might be. This next one's going to be a lot harder, I think.
All right.
At least I would think so.
All right.
And that is, I mean, so Ozzy has a lot of great music,
but he doesn't have a lot of big hits.
But he doesn't have a lot of big hits.
Yes,
he does have some, but
okay. All right, so let's see.
Can you name the top 10 most popular songs by Ozzy Osbourne according to Spotify?
Solo only, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
Is not on there.
Yeah.
So that's your first X. How about you start with like the big ones? Is not on there either.
All right, No More Tears.
No More Tears is number 2. So
Perry Mason.
So No More Tears has 194 million streams. Perry Mason is not on there, Ian. That's 3. You got 1 out of 10.
Wow.
We got 3 strikes already.
Let me.
How'd you not get number 1? What is number 1, Ian?
Oh, fuck. Crazy Train.
Yes. Crazy Train is number 1. It's almost 700 million streams.
Yeah.
Then you got No More Tears at number 2. What's the other big one?
Flying High Again.
No.
How is that not on there?
Flying High Again is not in the top 10. Number
Mama,
3,
I'm Coming Home.
Yes, is number 3. 208 million streams.
I hate that song. It's my least favorite Ozzy song of all time.
There's another big one out there too. 2 more. 3 that are really big. 3 that are really obvious.
Are they off of No More Tears?
No. Well, 1 is off of No More Tears.
I Don't Want to Change the World.
No. You're struggling.
Road to Nowhere.
Road to Nowhere is no. Not in the top 10. Trying to think of some other really obvious Ozzy picks.
Well, there's
huge.
Dreamer
is at number 8. It's 111.
Bark at the Moon.
Bark at the Moon is number 5.
How about
number 10 is a duet.
Oh, Close Your Eyes with Lita Ford.
Close My Eyes Forever.
Yeah.
Which is technically a Lita Ford song. It's on Lita's album.
It was on her album, right?
Yeah. Which is a really hard album to find. I've been trying to find that on vinyl for a while. That's actually a pretty good album.
I didn't have that album, but I had her greatest hits, which had that on it. Well,
you want me to rip through this top 10?
If you could just tell me what album they're off of, I might be able.
So you got Crazy Train was number 1. You got No More Tears, which is number 2. You got Mama, I'm Coming Home at number 3. Number 4 is from Black Rain. It was the only hit he had off that album.
I Don't Want to Stop.
Yep, I Don't Want to Stop was number 4. Bark of the Moon was number 5. You said Mr. Crowley, right? Mr. Crowley is at number 6.
So what's left?
So number 5. So number 5. So you got number 5 because you got Bark of the Moon.
Okay. Well, whatever the ones I have left to get, just tell me what album they're off of.
Okay. You got Mr. Crowley, which was number 6.
No, I did not get Mr. Crowley.
Oh, I thought you said Mr. Crowley.
No.
All right. Well, Mr. Crowley is number 6. Number 7. What album is that? Oh, hold on. It is
Ultimate Sin.
I couldn't remember the name of the album.
Shot in the Dark.
Really? Yeah, Shot in the Dark. Shot in the Dark is number 7. You got Dreamer at number 8. You got Close My Eyes Forever. Well, at number 10. So the last one, the only one remaining, is that other track from No More Tears at number 9. It's got 25 million streams. It wasn't a big song.
Well, let me just go through the list. So there's Mr. Tinker Train.
Mm-hmm.
I Don't Want to Change the World. Desire. Mm-hmm. No More Tears. Zombies. Not Zombie Stomp. Is it Zombie Stomp? No. Yeah, Zombie Stomp. Or no, not Zombie Stomp. Hellraiser. Really?
Hellraiser is at number 9.
And that's not even an Ozzy song. That's a Motorhead song.
It was
written by Lemmy.
Which is probably why it's in the top 10 most streamed from Ozzy.
Maybe I will say Ozzy's version's better, but only because Lemmy's voice is hard to do because he's just kind of growly.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a very like sound voice to him. But yeah.
So it's fun. That was the top 10 most popular songs from Ozzy.
I think I was looking at it more from the perspective of like he would have been. Most people would listen to more of the older stuff, but then there was a couple of those that I was like, I just completely forgot about.
Yeah.
Crazy Train is just like
that's the obvious one, man.
It's
that's the obvious one.
Yeah. When you first said Ozzy, the obvious one for me was No More Tears.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, the first song that comes to my mind is Crazy Train.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest song of his career.
Diary of a Madman for me. I know Crazy Train was big, but for me personally, Diary of a Madman. Of the Randy Rhoads era, that track alone is like probably one of my favorite Ozzy tracks.
Yeah.
And Diary of a Madman is my favorite Ozzy album.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
Watch you struggle to name Ozzy songs.
Yeah. Well, I'll be curious to see what the next batch is.
So we'll have to pick another band for next time.
Okay. Might even have to pick a band that I don't know much about.
Yeah. Well, that might be even harder.
Well, it will be harder because I won't even know what tracks to pick from.
Yeah. Do you want to do another one or?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, let me bring Spotify.
I'm sure no one's going to complain if we don't get to the politics.
Throw a band out there, Ian. I'll let you pick one.
Do Alice.
That's going to be an easy one for you, though.
Yeah, maybe. Because again, that would all be the old stuff. There wouldn't be much new stuff in there.
Yeah.
Although Poison would be on the list.
Basically, all you would have to do, I think, is just kind of rip through his greatest hits, and you'd have them.
No, I don't know. I don't know who else to do. Because I'm obviously my mind's gonna go, well, I could do that one because I know that,
Yeah.
I'll cheat. I'll unintentionally cheat.
All right, Ian. So go ahead and name a band. Which one do you want to try? I'll give you the opportunity to pick your poison.
I don't want it to be too easy. Well, it's going to be hard because I don't know how many hits she has. But why don't you do Tori Amos?
Okay. Let's go with. I won't be able to give you too many hints with this one.
No, that's fine. If I get all my X's, you can tell me what albums it's off of, more or less.
I don't know. I don't know her albums either, or the names of her albums at least. All right, so the top 10 most popular songs by Tori Amos.
Me and a Gun
is not on the list.
Okay. Precious Things.
Precious Things is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is number 7.
7.
Number 7 with 6.2 million streams.
Hey Jupiter.
Hey Jupiter is your second X.
Spark.
Spark is not on the top 10. You got 1 out of 10, Ian. You're horrible at this game.
That's terrible. That Jethro Tull list is looking a lot better, isn't it?
Good thing you got that. Counting Crows list.
Well, then I guess Past the Mission
is not in the top 10.
Blood Roses, Jackie Strength,
Cornflake Girl is number 1.
That one should have been on.
Professional Window is number 2. I don't know that song.
Professional Widow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Professional Widow. Crucify is number 3. Smells Like Teen Spirit is number 4.
Yeah, her version's not that great. It's okay. It's not that great though.
5 is Silent All These Years. 6 is Winter.
Yeah, okay.
You got what's that?
Winter. I thought of Winter, but I didn't think it was big enough to be.
Precious Things is what I say 7. Yeah. Precious Things is number 7. Caught in a Light Sneeze is number 8. A Sort of Fairy Tale is 9, and then Dixie is 10.
Okay.
You struggled with that one.
I sucked with that one, yeah. But I didn't want to make it too easy either. Like when I said Alice, I wasn't thinking how easy it was going to be. Alice would be easy.
Alice would be really easy, I think. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. I'll
All
give
right.
you a redeeming one, Ian.
Okay.
I'll let you redeem yourself with Alice Cooper.
You're gonna
Oops.
dumb it down for me?
All right, so the top 10 most popular songs
By Alice Cooper. So
by Alice Cooper, according to Spotify.
okay. Poison.
Poison is number 1, 431 million streams.
18.
I'm 18 is number 4.
School's Out.
School's Out is number 2.
$1 Billion Babies.
$1 Billion Babies is your first X.
Really?
It's not on there.
Well,
Dun,
shit.
dun, dun.
That's kind of shocking, actually. Ballad of Dwight Fry.
Ballad of Dwight Fry is not on there. There's the second X for you.
Welcome to My Nightmare.
Welcome to My Nightmare. I'm sorry, Ian.
I have been eliminated. I am the weakest
You
link.
have been eliminated.
Wow.
You got 3 of them.
Wow. That's harder than I thought.
You got the.
Well, don't.
You got. I mean, I think there's some on here that are
A bit more obscure.
I'm kind of surprised are on there.
All right.
But there's some other ones that are like some obvious ones. You got number 1, which
just
is
give
Poison.
me the ones I didn't get. Just give me
Hold
the
on.
albums.
I'll just go through the list. I'll go through the list and I'll give you clues.
All right.
So number 1 was Poison, which you got. Number 2 was School's Out, which you got. Number 3 is the other really obvious one. It's off of my favorite Alice album.
Which one's your favorite?
$1 Billion Babies.
Well, it would either
Like
have to be
the obvious song off of that one.
Hello Hooray?
No.
Generation Landslide? I Love the Dead?
No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh fuck yeah. I always skip. I skip over that one. Yeah, okay.
That's the obvious song on there.
Yeah.
You got number 4, which is I'm 18. Number 5, man.
You just tell me what album it's off of.
I think if I do, you'll know right away.
No.
I'm pretty sure this was used in a soundtrack.
Well, it's quite a few. Oh, Feed My Frankenstein?
Yes. Yep.
It was, because it was in the Wayne's World soundtrack.
Yeah. So that was number 5. Number 6. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the damn album. He's got the green face on the cover of it.
Oh, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
So
Alice Cooper Goes to Hell.
Goes to Hell.
So there's 2 songs off of that album.
Oh man, that's my least favorite Alice album.
That are in the bottom half of the top 10.
So Go to Hell is not on there?
No.
Okay. I'm Always Chasing Rainbows?
No.
Guilty?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That was number 6. I'm Always Chasing Rainbows is number 6.
Guilty?
Do you want to guess for the other one? No, that's
how many do I have
so,
left?
So the other song off of Goes to Hell is number 10.
Oh. I Never Cry?
I Never Cry was number 10. So number 7 was off of Poison. It's the obvious one.
So that would have to be House of Fire?
No. The other one that's
Bed of Nails.
Bed of Nails was the other big song.
He had like 5 hits, five singles off that album.
Well, the 2 big ones are Bed of Nails is one of the
Only
big
My
ones
Heart Talking I would have thought was the bigger hit. Was the bigger option if you're going by the hit. So it's it's a gray area.
Yeah, number 7 was Bed of Nails. Number 8 is off the same album as Feed My Frankenstein.
Well, then it would have to be Hey Stupid.
Yes, that's number 8. Number 9 is probably my second favorite Alice Cooper album. The one big track off of that. One track that like everyone knows.
Well,
I don't want to give you. I don't want to give you too many.
If it's Killer, is Killer the album?
Yes.
All right. There's a couple. It could be Desperado. It could be Under My Wheels. It could be Be My Lover.
Pick one of those because it's one of those 3.
Be My Lover.
No.
That's Under My Wheels.
Yeah. Under My Wheels was number 9.
Yeah.
See,
In
that
my
wasn't.
opinion, though, none of those songs are the best songs on the album.
I know
by a
that. I mean,
mile.
yeah. I mean,
The song "Killer" is great. "Halo of Flies" is great. "Desperado" should be on that list, by the way.
oh yeah. I think Desperado is a great song,
Yeah.
but it's not a list of the 10 best songs. It's just the list of the 10 most popular songs.
So, to be fair, that's the Alice Cooper Greatest Hits came out in '74, so it's only it's only songs that were "Love It to Death" through "Muscle of Love," so that technically was a harder list because some of those hits,
only 4 of those songs were off of his greatest hits,
right?
Which I thought there would be more of those on there. I mean, I think those are the best songs from his career, but
oh no,
I know you don't feel that same way. I love the pre-solo or the Alice Cooper band era of Alice Cooper.
I get that, but even of that era, like there's songs that are way better than some of those that are on the greatest hits.
So yeah, that was fun. I thought you, like I said, I thought you'd do better than the. I mean, well, like it's a hard game. It can be a hard game because it's not. It's hard to kind of separate your favorite songs from what the most popular songs are.
Right.
And
it's easy for me to for especially for artists that I know really well. It's easy for me to like kind of shove the big hits, the ones that everybody knows, off to the side because those are not the ones I would go to all the time,
Like even if I were to go through like blank, I mean, obviously I know what the big ones would be, but
but some of those you might not even think about. You're like, well, oh yeah, fuck, of course that's the one, but you're trying to think around that,
Yeah. And my problem is like I suck at remembering names of songs. So it's kind of a hard thing. So like even if I were to do one, like I'm sure hard. I would leave some big ones off of there, but
yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of fun. Do you want to talk about? So here we'll talk about our topic real quick.
Okay.
Because like I had one big. So we're going to talk about politics influencing music, and there's one big glaring way that it did, and that was with in the 80s the creation of the parental advisory, which when I was a teen, when I saw the parental advisory sticker,
made you want to buy it more.
That was the album I wanted to listen to. So I was like, hey, that might be a good album. I remember like when I was younger.
Do you remember the first album you ever bought that had that on there?
So what year did they start that?
Late 80s.
Late 80s?
Yeah.
Because I think it was, I don't know, because I've got GNR Lies. I don't think Lies had a parental advisory sticker.
I don't think it did either. But my first one was Use Your Illusion. 1 and 2.
Oh, that makes sense. It was probably mine also then. I remember when my parents bought me GNR Lies for Christmas. The Christmas that came out. And I was 10 years old, I think it was 9 when that album came out. And my after listening to it, they heard me listening to it in my room. My mom took the cassette and stuck like cotton or tissue down into the holes in the cassette and recorded all the curse words on the album.
Like, she ruined your tape, essentially.
Yes, because she censored my song. Maybe that's why I hate censored music. That's probably why. It's childhood trauma. That's why.
You don't have a lot of that, so that's okay. You should take what you can get.
If that's my childhood trauma, is my mom taping over the curse words and generalize.
I think you're doing okay. Yeah,
I think I'm doing okay.
You're doing all right.
Yeah, it was like, every other word's like a blurb, a bleep on the, or just a blank spot on the cassette.
The thing is, how was she so accurate to the point where she got all of them without like, oh man, I missed it, and then having to go back and then all it's like, before you know, it's just boom, 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 silence.
Even when my kids were younger, I listened to everything. I'm not somebody that likes censoring music. Yeah. I have a huge problem with censoring. Really anything. I've got an issue with censoring anything. I really, especially when it comes to art, like
explicit sex scenes in movies. That would be about it for kids. Well,
for kids, yeah. Maybe like
everything else is fair game.
I mean, it still shouldn't be censored. You should just not be taking your kids you should be a parent and not take your kids to
Well, I was thinking
movies
about
like
like
that.
watching it in the home and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean that's still not. It still shouldn't be censored. Like the parent should.
I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, it is not anyone else's responsibility to censor it. It's the parent's responsibility. Yeah, I totally agree. 100%.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of censoring anything like that. No art,
Yeah.
movies, music, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Really anything.
No banning books. You know, that's a good start there too.
It's a good start. Don't be too political now, Ian.
Hey, I told you it's going to be tough.
So I guess like another big thing with the way that politics influenced music. Why am I like? I must be doing some kind of hand motion. Like what the fuck was that? Did you see that pop up also?
Yeah, I saw
I don't know. I don't know what I did to get that to pop up.
I don't know. Our last episode was balloons. Now you're getting a thumbs
balloons,
up.
Like hand gesturing. I don't know what's going on. But
AI, it's becoming self-aware. It's going to take over.
Well, the program that we use to record, it does use AI, but
did I take it back? AI is great.
Please don't kill us.
Right.
But no, another way that politics has really influenced music is through the anti-war movement in the late 60s. You know, the anti-Vietnam War. You know, that's another huge way. I think that I mean, it creates some great music. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that protest rock of the later 60s, but
no, I don't mind the protest rock. I just don't. I have a bad taste in my mouth for hippies because you know
hippies became yuppies, and
they sold out as soon as the money was right, or they weren't there for the issues. They were there for the drugs and the sex. Yeah. So it's like, you know,
which hey, you can't blame them, but
no, but you know, people have this rose-colored view of what that was, and you know, aside from the more extreme groups that were around back then, there really wasn't a lot of real. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Honesty.
Yeah, definitely honesty. It would work, but
I think there was definitely people that were doing maybe the right things for the wrong reasons.
I'm not even sure if they were even doing the right things. They were saying they were doing the right things. They implied they were doing the right things, but I don't even think they were. I think the vast majority of them were just fucking getting drunk, getting high, and having free sex, and which again, like you said, is fine. But don't hide
paint it to
that.
Be something else.
Yeah, exactly. Don't take some kind of moral high ground when that's all you were doing. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like about the hippies. But the music, you know, for what it's worth, a lot of that music was great. I wouldn't say it was the best, but it was great. You know, it was good.
It definitely had an influence. On music for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You also had, you know, environmental factors that played a role in influencing music in the mid '80s with We Are the World and things like that. Which is a great documentary about that. Yeah. There's a great documentary about We Are the World though, if you haven't seen it.
I think the rock kind of got it started, but I think the majority of some of the more politically driven music was probably more the late 80s, early 90s hip hop.
Well, that, and I would say late 70s punk music.
Oh yeah, I guess so. But even that kind of sold out to a degree.
It did. When the Sex Pistols had their names all over everything.
Right.
Anything that they could charge $1 for. But yeah, social commentary, late 80s, early 90s rap for sure.
Right.
You know,
and you're right.
It opened the door to what was really going on in inner cities.
Right.
That the media wasn't paying attention to.
It was. I think that was a direct response to the fact that, you know, even though the civil rights movement had been, 20, 30 years removed, there still hadn't been a lot of changes, especially in the inner cities. And, you know, we had, Rodney King and the riots and everything else. So there was a lot of really poignant music that came out of that as a result. And it was all in the hip hop genre, I think, at that time. So,
especially when you had TV shows like Cops that were trying to paint this like rosy picture of what was really going on. And then, 25, 30 years later, we find out that, you know, cops was, you know, the police departments had final say about what was shown, and there were a lot of things that probably should have been left in that could have
Well, to give
informed
a
people what
more,
was going on.
I would say to give the more accurate picture of how
Yeah,
policing in this country really does need to be reformed.
yeah,
You know,
but
I think some things have moved a little bit in the direction of reform, but it's taken a lot of bad things to happen for that to even
yeah,
start, and it's nowhere near even begun. It's just whispers of it starting.
I will say, like, in the reverse though, in what ways has music influenced politics? Because really, the only way I can think of is like campaign videos and but like political rallies and things like that. That's really
How politics has influenced music, or vice versa. Music has influenced
how
politics.
music has influenced politics.
Um, Sadly, I
Because
don't know if it really has
I don't
too
really think it
much.
has.
Because no, most politicians are going to use what they think is going to be popular to sell whatever it is they're trying to sell themselves mostly. So they'll use the popular. They'll use Fleetwood Mac songs in their
Yeah,
in their victory.
until they get a cease and desist letter.
Well, I was referring to Clinton when he did
Yeah,
whatchamacallit, that Fleetwood Mac
yeah,
song. But yeah, it's usually going to be cases where they're using it because it'll get it's a popular song and they can ride that popularity. But 9 times out of
yeah.
10, if the artist doesn't share that person's political views, they're going to stop them.
The funniest one for me that I remember is I think it was '84 when Reagan used "Born in the USA,"
Right.
and Bruce Springsteen had to come out and is like, "You guys don't really know what that song's about, do you?" Like,
Well, it's like graduating classes in 1997 using "Good Riddance" as their
yeah,
class song.
yeah, not exactly what that's about.
No, and that still happens today. People still there are schools that still or classes that still pick that as their song.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, they're gonna just kind of pick whatever's popular. Yeah, politicians, they don't really give a shit
No,
about anything, but other than money and having you vote for them. But
right. Yeah, I don't know. Music doesn't really influence politics.
no,
It's
I
more
think
of
it
the
does
reverse.
in the reverse, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's definitely not as influential as it once was. But
No.
it really
Well,
doesn't.
no, because they got to the point where most bands weren't really taking on political issues in their music. They were taking on social issues
Yeah,
that may have political connections or political motivations, but generally speaking, were much more personal.
yeah,
In fact, as far as protest albums go, I mean, and at least in rock, I can't speak so much to hip hop and stuff other than those early '90s albums. But American Idiot was definitely a direct response to our war in Iraq and
yeah,
our being lied to about the war in Iraq to get into the war in Iraq and all
yeah,
that stuff. And then, honestly, I would say much less political, but 21st Century Breakdown is a response to now this at 2013 when that album came out, a response to a generation of kids who were very young when 9/11 happened and growing up in that post 9/11 world. So there's some social commentary there and some politics as well, but
yeah.
but even that, Green Day hasn't done that in a long time.
No, I think there's definitely been more like political and social themes in punk music than
Revolution
really
Radio
anything,
was
in the
somewhat.
last 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, Bad Religion is very political, very social conscious music.
Yeah, I mean,
So
so is No Effects
no effects.
at
I mean,
times.
well, right.
Rise Against
Yeah.
has had a lot of a lot of those themes in their music. Against Me does also. There's a lot of punk bands that do.
I
But
think even the ones that don't do it exclusively still have songs that are,
yeah,
you know,
politically charged.
politically charged. Exactly. It's one of the things I like about punk, actually, because
Yeah,
it, I can't necessarily, I can appreciate it, but I can't necessarily relate to those hip hop songs of the early '90s because I didn't grow up in the inner city. I didn't have those experiences. I can listen to those and empathize with the experience, like I would be like reading a book or whatever, but or watching a movie. But I can't empathize on a personal level because I didn't experience those. But with rock music, it's a little different most of the time because sometimes those rock songs are directly to those like inner city type situations that I don't understand either.
Yeah.
But when they're talking about politics on a general level and things like that, I can definitely relate better to it. And that's punk is honestly what I it's those songs. It's the not necessarily the angry songs, but it's the songs that really call out the bullshit that I really like.
Yeah.
That's what I like about punk. So.
Well, I guess we kind of wrap it up there. I don't want to drag this episode on for too long, but we spent most of the time playing games and not really talking about our topic. But that's what we do here on the Vinyl Den After Hours. Do
whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I mean, hey, some people they'll never get this time back, Nick.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I will say that if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. You can always catch us on all your should be on all the podcast apps now. Also, make sure you check out the Vinyl Den store on Amazon. I think it's amazon.com/shop/the Vinyl Den. I'll put a link down below. You can always check us out there. Go out there, buy some albums through the store there. Catch us on Facebook. I don't know what else. Anything else you want to add, Ian?
Well, I was gonna be, I was gonna push the boundaries and yell out, "Vote for so and so," but
yeah, don't do that.
I think anyone who's watched our show long enough has kind of figures where we fall politically. So
I mean, even you go back and listen to our other podcasts.
Oh yeah, if you listen to our other podcasts, it's very clear where we fall politically. But even in the Vinyl Den, I think most people kind of have a rough idea where we tend to fall.
I don't know. That's all we got, man. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.